Hey, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. We haven't had anything sweet in a while, a pretty good while, so I'm going to make us a little chocolate cake. Now I'm just going to call this quick milk chocolate cake, and we're going to use some Hershey's unsweetened cocoa, and we're going to get started right away because I'm going to need this cake very soon. All right, 1 stick of butter, and I always use salted butter. I don't know why, I just do. And I soften this in the microwave. So 1/2 cup butter, which is 1 stick, 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in. 1/4 of a cup of the Hershey's unsweetened cocoa. So I'm going to dump that in. Now the reason I'm doing it like this is in case that cocoa, which mostly it always has lumps in it, so I'm just putting that in right to start with and mixing it in with my sugar, and that way it gets lumps out, so that way you don't have to really sift it if you do it that way, because I don't like to have to sift it, because then I have to wash out my sifter, which I always use for flour. Okay, see how nicely that went into that sugar? Just mix it around with a spatula and you get it mixed in, and the lumps kind of just go away. Alright, so now we're going to mix that butter in, just using a spatula. Mix it in as good as we can without the mixer yet. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put in the 2 whole eggs, and those are large eggs. And the reason I'm not using the mixer yet is because that cocoa is so fine it'll kind of fog up on you. Just get it mixed in as good as I can, get all that cocoa wet before I put the mixer on it. Alright, we're ready now. You're going to just mix this up, you know, just a couple of minutes, just enough until it gets kind of fluffy. Alright, so I'm going to cut this off until we get it all mixed up. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I mixed this for probably, I'm going to guess and say about 2 minutes. Now we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Just mix that in just a little bit. Okay, we are now ready for flour and some milk. I'm using 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 1/4 cups of self-rising flour, and I'm doing that just to save time, so I don't have to measure out all that baking soda and salt and everything, because this will already have the baking soda and salt in it. You definitely want to sift it and then measure it. That way you'll have the measurements right. I'm also going to add in 1/4 a teaspoon of baking soda, and that's to kind of counteract the buttermilk. So I'll just go ahead and put that in. Sometimes that has a few little lumps in it. Just go ahead and put that in right now. And now I'm going to start out with flour. So I'm going to mix about 1/3 of the flour in. This is a really quick cake to put together, especially if you use the self-rising flour. We're going to put a buttercream icing on this, but a very thin layer of buttercream icing. Alright, now we're going to come in and add about 1/2 that milk. You notice I'm just mixing it with a spatula. I'm just mixing it by hand. Alright, now we're we're ready for 1/3 of the flour. And this is really almost as easy, or probably is as easy, as mixing up a cake mix. And we're going to use the mixer again right at the end. All right, now we're ready for the rest of the buttermilk. Getting that all mixed in. Yeah, we haven't had anything sweet for a while, so I have to make a cake when we go for a while without anything sweet. Now, we don't buy any cookies or candy at the store ever. Not ever. Everything's always homemade, and a lot of times I don't really have enough time to make cakes and all that. I'm usually busy cooking the meals. All right, now the advantage of sifting that flour is that you end up without any lumps. And the other reason is because it measures more accurately once you sift it, because flour tends to pack down. All right, so that's the last third of the flour. Just going to mix that in by hand to start with. Now we're going to bake this at 350 degrees in a greased and floured, this is an 8.5 by 12-inch pan. And I actually just serve it out of the pan. I don't, take it out of the pan. I ice it right in the pan. Just a quick way to get something sweet and something good. All right, so we're ready to put our mixer in now and mix this up just for a minute. Not even a minute, really. All right, that's all you need. Right there. All right, here's my pan. It's I think it's an 8.5 by 12. I'm really not sure. All right, so we're just going to dump this in now. Get every last bit of that out of there if I can. Okay, my dogs are in there barking. One of them sounds like Steely. Alright, so you want to just spread this out in the pan, and we've got our oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to cook this for probably about 25 minutes. You don't want to overcook it, because of course that would make it dry. Alright. Alright, this is ready to go in the oven pretty quick, huh? I think I'm going to call this quick milk chocolate cake, because that's what it's like. It's more like milk chocolate than really dark chocolate. Alright, when this gets ready, we'll be back, and we might be back before because I'm going to go ahead and start the icing because I need me a piece of this cake. We'll be back. Okay, our cake is almost done, and I'm going to go ahead and start fixing the icing. I'm going to clarify the butter just slightly. This is 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to stir it over medium-high heat. You can see some of the steam coming up. That's water from the butter that's evaporating, and it's going to intensify the taste of the butter because we are making buttercream icing. My cake's almost done. I can't wait. Alright, and I did misspeak a while ago. I said I didn't buy anything sweet at the grocery store, but I have to stand corrected on that. I go to Walmart about once a month, along with I go to Bilo, sometimes Piggly Wiggly, Dollar General, and whatever else. And when I do my main shopping, and after I get through with all that, I always get me a donut at Walmart. And then I eat it in the car. I know, I do it. I admit it. I feel like that's my reward for doing all the shopping. All right, now to stop this action, you know, clarifying the butter, it gets, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the milk solids kind of start cooking a little bit. And to start with, it'll be clear, and then it sort of gets cloudy again. So to stop all that happening, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of half and half. And just stop it from cooking any further. Push it off the burner. And I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla right away. Alright, now to this, I'm going to add 2 cups of confectionary sugar, and we'll see how that goes. And if we need more, we'll add more. If we need less, we'll put a little more half and half in it. And I do want this icing to be a little bit runny. I'm really not interested in any of that, you know, big, thick icing on the top of this cake. And I just use a whisk, and if lumps stay in it, it doesn't bother me at all. Alright, so that was 2 cups of confectionery sugar. See how yellow it looks? I don't know if that shows up or not. Alright, my cake's almost ready. I'm going to go take it up. Okay, my cake is all done. Of course, it's still very hot, but we're going to go ahead and ice it anyway. Now, to prevent the icing from turning sugary, because I'm going to pour it right on a hot cake, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of just light Karo syrup. And again, this is almost like sauce type icing. I just don't like all that really thick icing on cakes. But I do want something a little sweet on top, and this is really going to be a very buttery icing. Alright, I think we've got that all mixed up now. We're ready to pour it right on the cake. I'm going to move the cake over here so y'all can see. Alright, we are ready. Now, there's a little trick to this. You have to do it really fast. Alright, so what I'm going to do is pour it from one end to the other, and come back again, and go down again. Every bit of that on there. Alright, I'm just going to gently spread this out and let it kind of run down the sides a little bit. Alright, I've got us a chocolate cake here. And I'm going to call this quick milk chocolate cake with buttercream icing. Alright, so we're going to let that cool just a little bit more, and then I'm going to slice it and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we are ready to eat some of this like right now. Now what I will do is, once this cools, I will slice it up into serving size pieces, and I freeze it so that we don't eat another piece probably for several days. Alright, now the pan is still really hot. I'm going to see if I can get this out of here. Oop, there we go. Alright. It's very hard to get out of the pan because it's still really, really hot. Alright. Let me let you have a look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's very, very moist. All right, we're ready to eat some of this, and we will see y'all next time.